Prophecies. You know what? People always make the term light worker a thing, right? But what about being a dark worker? You know, again, coming to terms with the fact that I have embraced darkness. I feel, you know, I feel sometimes when I come across people and they see the light, because the light is on, they somehow feel like there was no darkness there. See, being a dark worker requires you to go through transformation, deep transformation. The darkness represents the subconscious mind. So, a soar or Osiris, god of the underworld, represents darkness. Change takes place in darkness. When you talk about darkness, you talk about an alchemical process that takes place. And so going through deep, dark transformation can be very uncomfortable. It can be painful because you are going through a refinery process. You are facing your shadow. So when people see you, if you have done the work, your light is radiant. Your light is bright. Your aura is strong. Your energetic field is strong. They can feel the energy and see the light radiating from you. But what they don't understand is that what they're looking at is the end result of you going through that darkness. They look at the light and feel like this person is just filled with light and peace and energy, and it's just this, easygoing person. What they don't realize is that they're looking at the result of deep trauma, pain, emotional healing, darkness, dark work. That's what they're looking at. If you look at gold, for example, gold has to go through a refinery process. When they find gold and they mine gold, gold has impurities on it. There's a lot of trash on the gold when they find it. It's not shining when it comes out of the ground. But it goes through a process where it goes through this intense fire. They put it through this intense heat, which helps to burn all of the impurities off of the gold. And when the gold goes through this process, it's heated up to very high temperatures, very intense conditions, in order to get the gold refined to look the way that it looks when it's presented to you. So it didn't come out the ground shining, but after going through a refinery process, it came out of that process shining. So when you see someone's light, if they really have a bright light, just know that out of darkness comes light. So don't get it confused and think that because a person is at peace now, that they don't know the dark side. Dark alchemy, dark work. You know what I'm saying? Magic. And when I say magic, I'm talking about internal magic that you do within, just you and your shadow, not necessarily going to do ceremonies. You're dealing with the subconscious mind. That's what darkness represents, the subconscious. That's what melanin represents, The triple black darkness is what everything comes out of. So, to the people that's speaking about being light workers, cool. But I'm not here to lie to the people. You don't become light unless you face the dark. And anyone who says otherwise is just simply telling you a lie. It's not cute. Oh, I know it's cool to, get on here and talk about chakras and, rainbows and, talk about the pineal gland and, talk about your third eye. And I know it feels good to talk about, but are you really saying this because you are going through progression, or are you really saying this for your ego, from your ego? You just want an ego boost. So anybody embarking on this spiritual path, the real journey, it's not easy. Be ready for transformation. Be ready to face those aspects of yourself that you hide from. Be ready to see darkness. Be ready to see demons. These demons are your demons. It's nothing outside of you that's coming to scare you. It's you that you're running from. So when you see these energies doing shadow work, these are aspects of yourself, your subconscious mind, toying with you, telling you, hey, look, I'm right here. You see me. I'm here. You got to deal with me. You can't keep sweeping me under the rug. That's what these energies are trying to tell you. So again, deep shadow work. This is the season of it. Some of us have been experiencing deep emotional swings and ascension symptoms and things going on in the mind and the body. This is due to a deep transformation that we are experiencing at this time. This is Pisces season we are going into, but this is also the winter season. This is the winter season, especially in the northern hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, everything goes through cycles. Winter is the death season. So we are, in winter. You know what I'm saying? As we gear up for spring. But just know that when you talk about winter, you talk about death. If you look at nature in winter, everything has died in nature. The leaves on the trees have died. The grass is no longer green like it was. The animals are in hibernation. This is because this is a time of death and transformation. So when you look at nature, this is what we should be doing. The same thing. But death, after death comes rebirth. This is why when spring comes, you see the plants begin to come back to life. Everything begins to sprout again. The chlorophyll begins to go back into the plants, the trees. Everything is filled with life and vitality again after undergoing a deep transformation. You begin to see the animals again. And so this is the season of the subconscious, the deep shadow work, intense work, and it can be very challenging. I'm not here to lie to you. This process can be very challenging, but it's very powerful. It's nothing like it. But it's a natural process that we were intended to go through. But because social media and some of these people have you feeling like everything is always, beautiful vibrations and, rainbows and all. You feel like everything when you go into spirituality is supposed to be like that. there's a lot of a lot of confusion. You know what I'm saying about these processes. So I'm just here to bring some clarity to this, to bring balance. Because once you go through this process, that's when you start to see all of these magical things take place. This is when you will begin to see your light get stronger, your spiritual abilities increase. You don't have to go and search for spirits and nature spirits, because they'll start to show up to you, because you have now became that frequency that will attract that. You're not having to go and try to be something. You can't skip the process. Oh no, baby, you can't skip the darkness. I know a lot of you want to skip that part. I know you want to get straight into being this magical being and all that, but it's no shortcuts. So when you call yourself a creator, or when you consider yourself to be God, be ready to go through the process. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to prepare you. But if you need assistance with this, I make myself available to coach people through this. I have some courses coming soon on this, where it can help you, guide you through this process. But make no mistake, this is a powerful process. This is the only way. So after the winter, you see the spring come. This is when you see the rise. This is why Resurrection Sunday is in the spring, because it's the resurrection of the sun. I spoke about Asar, the Assyrian resurrection. In the Kemetic science, you see the Assyrian resurrection. Remember, Asar or Osiris represents the subconscious, the darkness, the transformation. Remember, he goes through a resurrection, a death, but also a resurrection. The same thing with Jesus in the Christian theology that came from Kemet, that they took from Kemet. But that's neither here nor there. Every system you see a death and rebirth take place. That's what's going on now. And if you're experiencing discomfort mentally, emotionally, that's because this season is about you healing that. You got to go in and face these things now. Otherwise, it'll come back around again. And there's always going to be things to heal, but the more work you do now, the less work you have to do later on these same things. You can release them now. So again, I just wanted to come and bring some light to this process, just to add some context to bring balance. Since I hear, everyone saying that they're light workers. Nothing against that, by the way. But we have to put it in the context, because people are easily being misled and thinking that they can just skip the dark part and then go right into light, being this light being. It doesn't work like that. Light doesn't exist without darkness, and darkness doesn't exist without light. These two things work hand in hand. Duality. The law of polarity states that all things have their equal opposite. Polar opposites. So, again, just wanted to bring clarity to this situation. And if you need to reach out to me for any guidance on this topic and more, I do general sessions, but I'm mainly focused on the upcoming courses. So if you're interested in any of those, send me an email via info@thehouseofancestors.com to get in touch. Yes, indeed. Peace.